Welcome to another Tableau tutorial video. I'm Weston Palmer. Let's get started. Dashboards are a great way of displaying information and aggregating data. To allow the user to really interact with the data and explore and pull out additional information, you're going to need to be able to allow the user to input data or information back into the dashboard. And the way you do that is with parameters. I'm going to go to this. I've already created this table here, a state data table, and I'm going to create a parameter. You create the parameter by under your data, left clicking this little arrow, calculated field, and parameter. It gives you an option for name, the different data types, float, which is like decimal, integer, whole numbers, string, boolean, which is true or false, date, and then date and time. And I'm going to just select string for now. The current value, I'm just going to say example. And when the workbook opens, it gives you an option here of you can have it be always open to this default value, or it gives you some other options, other parameters. Now you have all or list. Oh, I skipped over display format. This display format is if you select one of the number formats, float, integer, date and time, and then you can change that to percentage or dollars or whatever the date format you select. Allowable values, you can select all. It's going to give you just a text box that you can input values into, or it can give you a list. Now, I usually use the list for a couple things, one for sheet swapping or one for creating dynamic sorting. And I'll put either cards should be popping up to show you where those videos are. Check those out. You can either put in your own list or you can add values from, let's just say we're going to add them from state. And when you select that, it automatically populates all the values that were in the state. Well, we don't want that. We want to go. And now the other thing that you can do here, you can display type one thing, Tableau, we'll say Tableau dashboard. So those are two examples. Now we'll select OK. And so now we've got that. So how do we make it visible? Come under here and we're going to show parameter. And so up here in the right, you can select the dashboard and the Excel file. So how do we get this added? Oh, I've already ruined it for us. We've got it. Under Insert, come down here, and we're going to select Parameters. You've got your fields here, and you have your different parameters here. So I'm going to select Parameters, and it has Excel file. One of the questions might be, why would you show a value that's different than your display as? Well, if you had, for example, if you had integer, you might say, and we'll maybe do this in a later video, 1, 3 months, 6 months. Well, when you pull it down, 1, 3, 6, it doesn't, you can make it look better. So you might say here, double click, 1 month, 3 months, 6 months. All right, so now it looks more like a drop-down menu, right? And then what you could do is grab the parameter, we'll drop it under measure values, and you see that it comes across as a value. So now you can use this in other calculations. If you wanted to, you could set this to a % discount, and you could then use this in other, oops, didn't want to do that. You can use this in calculated fields. We'll just do sales times parameter 2. And because this is a value, you can use it in formulas like this. You'll also notice that it is purple versus the fields, which are orange. So we'll just say OK. We're just going to drop the calculation 3 here. And you can see it's 3x times sales, or 6x. You use the parameter for also sheet swapping, and we'll put a link to that. Hope this helps. If there's other questions, one thing I may have left off, if you need to change anything, you come here to edit, and you can just come through here. And if you wanted to add, let's say you wanted to add something later, somebody wanted to say add 4 months. Right, this doesn't, it's going to go 1, 3, 6, 4. That doesn't look right. You just left click and you can drag it up. Okay. Oh, one more thing to tell you. How do you get it to show up on your dashboard so that people can actually interact with it? Under analysis, there's a section down here called parameters, and you can select the different parameters that you have. I was working on one earlier, so that's why there's chart selector. We'll select parameter 2. It's off to the side. Maybe you don't want it all the way. Maybe you want it closer to the timeline. Left click. You just treat this like any other chart or object. Little arrow. We're going to change this to floating. And now you can float and move it wherever you want. And you can, just like anything else, right click, edit title, and you can type in whatever you want here. Let me know if you have any questions. Love to answer them. Thanks for watching. Hope you found that video helpful. Hit subscribe and the bell so you get notified when I release new videos. And check out my other videos to learn even more about Tableau.